This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That was me having a little bit of fun with some open or alternate tunings, and the reason I was doing that is because today's Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we deal with viewers' questions, and I've had quite a lot of requests to do a video about open tunings. So that's what I'm doing now, and truth be told, I don't tend to use them that much myself because, well, essentially I like the notes to be where I left them. you know, it's like I instinctively know the fretboard in standard tuning, and as soon as you start messing with that, everything is not where you left it. But I thought I'd give it a little bit of a go. I used 3 different open tunings in that piece, and we're going to look at what they are now. And the final part of that tune there, where I was having a bit of a jam, that was just in standard tuning because, once again, I like the notes to be where I left them. So the tunings I was using were Dadgad, Open D and Open G, and here's a little bit of information on all 3 of those.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, then the first tuning that you heard in that little piece was Dadgad, so called because we tune the strings D, A, D, G, A, D, which gives us kind of a D sus4 kind of open chord like that, and it's neither major nor minor, which means that you can sort of impose a major or minor identity upon it just by what you do on the 3rd string, because we've got essentially root, 5th, root, 5th, root there. So this 3rd string here is where we've got essentially the sus4 note, the G note. So I can put a major third into there, like this, an F sharp, and get a very pleasing D major chord. I can drop that third, flatten it, and get a D minor chord. And just either by playing melodies in either a D major or D minor scale along that string, you can create all kinds of interesting things. So D major, like that, or equally D minor. Like that. And as well as just playing single notes there, you can do what I did in that little demo piece, which is to play double stops, which sort of hint at chord changes going on within the main overall D major tonality that I was creating. So I was starting with the D and the F sharp here, which gives us a D major chord, then moving down to the C sharp and the E here, which with that A note in there give us an A major chord, but still within that overall kind of D major feel. And then this coming down to here, I've got a B and a D, which if I was to think in terms of adding a G note here, that would give me a G major chord, like that, but and so on. So what did I come up with? That was basically that, and then just stick that over the top of a nice D major bass line, and you've got something that's, you know, it's got a little bit of melodic movement in it, but it's still, you know, kind of essentially a chordal part, and you know, using sort of D major scale or the key of D major partial chords. So that explains hopefully what was going on with the Dadgad part. Okay, next tuning is open D, basically a D major chord. Essentially the same as that Dadgad tuning we've just looked at, with the exception of one note, which is the third string, which was in the Dadgad tuning, it was G. Now it's been dropped a semitone to F sharp. So we've got D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. D major chord, and you can do all kinds of kind of fun stuff with this. You can just play a simple bar chord and move it up and down the neck to create other major chords. You know, there's a G, there's an A, there's a C, and then back to a D again at the 12th fret. And of course, because you've got one finger playing the entire chord, something that if you were playing regular bar chords, all four fingers would be involved. You've got spare fingers to do stuff with. And quite a commonplace little shape that you can do here is if you just imagine like an E7 shape. So that's your, what would be E7 bar chord shape in standard tuning. So your second finger is going on to the third string, one fret above wherever you're barring, and your third finger is going on to the fifth string, two frets above wherever you're barring, so you can get very sort of Rolling Stonesy, but I didn't do any of that because with the open D, because I did it a similar thing on the next tuning we're going to look at. What I did here was just use the old slide, and remember how I said I was kind of implying, that's the word I'm looking for, like a D chord to an A chord to a G chord and so on. In that Dadgad part, I was just kind of following those chord changes really here with there's D, come up to the 7th fret, you know, it's that becomes an A chord, and then there's a G chord there. I was just following the chord changes, and you know, it created just basically a little melody all of its own just through doing that. Like that. and very, very effective way of creating. If you're not too confident with a slide in terms of kind of muting unwanted strings and stuff that you've got to do in standard tuning, then doing it this way in an open D or open E. Open E is exactly the same thing, but you just tune everything a tone up. You can get open E quite easily just by capoing at the 2nd fret in open D. So there you go. That was what I did with the open D tuning. Let's move on to the last one. Okay, so the final tuning you heard in that little piece there, apart from the standard tuning solo at the end, was open G. And if you're going to tune a guitar to open G, it all just makes sense to take some sort of Telecaster style guitar and do it with that, Keith Richards and everything. So open G is D, G, D, G, B, and D. So basically fifth, root, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, if you're wanting the actual intervals that we're tuned to there. And once again, you can just kind of bar up and down the neck, creating major chords, so there's G, 5 semitones above a G, you've got a C, then there's a D, there, and then G up here. And in that open D discussion that we've just had, I said there's that lovely little kind of thing where you can put a shape on in front of it. Well, it's basically the same shape in open G. All you do is instead of putting it on the on the 3rd and 5th strings, you move it down, so it's on the 2nd and 4th strings, kind of like a minor 7 shape in standard tuning. And this is when you really start getting the Keith Richards thing going. I will just mention that Keith Richards, although uses open G, he tends to only use 5 of the 6 strings. He doesn't have a low D on there for most of his open G stuff. And, immediately all of the kind of Rolling Stones cliches start coming out, that and maybe's... that kind of thing. Great fun. But they are far from the only band who used open G, thinking mainly of, Status Quo. I'll play you a little snippet of a Status Quo thing in a moment. But Bad Company, that little, can't get enough. And if you capo at the 5th fret, the 4th fret, you'll get a very well-known Status Quo anthemic tune. Like that. So I'm not playing too many of them for copyright reasons, but basically, open G is, out of all of the open tunings, it's when I do tend to decide to mess with the with where the notes are on the neck, that is the one I tend to go to the most, because it's, to my mind, it's the one that I connect with the most. I think it's possibly the bluesier one, which suits me. Anyway, so there you go. That's the open G tuning, and that was the 3rd of the alternate tunings that I used in that piece. Now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with them. And as always, you'll find a full tab in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing the piece of music, that explanation you've just seen there, and a number of jam tracks for you to play along with for yourself. Basically what I've done is I've done a different jam track minus each of the open tune parts. So if you want to play the Dadgad part along with it, you've got a jam track for that. Same with the open D, same with the open G, and I've also done a jam track which is just minus all of the lead guitar parts, so you can just kind of jam along with it as a regular kind of warm-up jam track kind of thing that many people use these things for. Anyway, all of that is up on my Patreon page, all of the jam tracks and everything I've just described there. There's the address, and the link is in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive, massive thank you to each and every one of you who support me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down in the description. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful, informative, and maybe a little bit entertaining as well. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget that live stream every Friday, 5 p.m. UK time. We drink beer and we talk about music and guitars and all manner of other stuff. What a fantastic way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.